Hello, welcome Solex Nation. Last week we announced that Day of Discovery is sold out. And we're not changing that. It is still sold out. So sorry.
I know, it's kind of sad news, right?
Sad for those who didn't get tickets.
Yeah, if we could do double the numbers, we would do it. If you would all be able to come, we would love to do that next year. Let's do that next year. Everybody who's planning on coming, though, we do have some good news. We have a brand new Courtyard Marriott right here by the corporate offices. If you've ever been out this way, we'll put the address in our blog post about the event so you can access it. But there is, we've arranged some pricing with that brand new Courtyard Marriott that you can take advantage of if that works for you.
That's right. And that link to get that corporate pricing is on our Solex Global website. Just click on events, Day of Discovery, and you will see that link.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, August is a little different as far as pay goes because August 10th, which is our normal commission date, falls on a weekend.
Yes, and when a commission date falls on the weekend, we run the commissions the following business day. And so that actually will be Monday the 12th. And so all commissions will run and be paid out on Monday the 12th in August for the month of July's earnings.
That's right, so just take note of that so you know when you're getting paid. Speaking of August, we do have a new incentive for August for all people who sign up this month with an enrollment bundle and a subscription.
Yeah, everybody is going to get the methylene blue product. We call it blue.
Yes.
It's super simple. This cellular respiration help, this ATP process support, whatever you want to call it. There's so much information and more coming out all the time about the benefits of methylene blue in your body. But ours in particular is coupled with colloidals. Copper, silver, and gold, which actually have a special function with the methylene blue in keeping the redox agency functioning in that product itself. So it is a powerful product, a great giveaway, a great incentive to anybody who's considering, hey, coming to Solex, becoming a preferred customer or a new QLA with the bundle and the subscription. So
I do have a little side note. Someone said one time, Solex, can you stop putting coloring in your products? Can you stop doing a dye in your methylene blue? Can you stop making pulse red? And just so you know, that's all natural. Methylene blue is a dye.
Yeah, that's the way it comes, right? It's the way that you can get methylene blue. It's just probably one of the benefits. In fact, its origination was as to trace things within the body, and then they actually found that it did really good things. In fact, it started by finding that it killed malaria.
Yes.
Right? When they were studying and trying to trace malaria in the body system, it was like the only factor that changed that actually the body took advantage of and actually destroyed the malaria virus.
There are amazing benefits to methylene blue. So if you don't know much about it, go read up. We have some information on our blog about it, a lot of good information about methylene blue. Okay, another incentive, it's actually for this quarter, is our Bring on 3, Bring on 6 incentive.
Yeah, so from July through September, if you bring on 3 people with the bundle and the subscription, and that subscription successfully transacts, then you will get an extra $100 bonus paid out after the quarter closes and that subscription runs.
Yes.
But to juice that a little bit more, if you enroll 6, you get an additional $250. That brings the total to $350 on top of the commissions you already earned.
I think that's great timing for buying stuff at Day of Discovery.
Yes, that is. That's true.
All right, that's it for announcements. So let's go on to the contest winners and top enrollers.
Hey everybody, it's Jake and Jake. We've never had Jake and Jake pairing on the call, but we're here to do the contest and top enrollers. So should we just start with the contest?
Yeah, let's start with the contest.
Let's give out some gold. Okay, what they have to do?
Okay, what they had to do, we asked everyone to share what they have experienced with our awesome product, Gold.
Yeah.
And the key ingredient in that is fulvic acid. And so what we've got here written is what people responded to that, and here's the first winner.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay, so this is Doc Stone's Natural Medicine. I think this person won very recently, so.
Oh, nice.
Good for you. Gold coming your way. So humic fulvic acid is something I use consistently in my own health and wellness regimen, and something that I use with clients regularly as well. The importance of including these essential minerals in a personal wellness program cannot be overstated. They are great for binding toxins and removing them from our bodies. With all of the hype around them on social media, people must make sure that They get their fulvic acid and humic acids from a reputable source. We cannot get them from our food any longer due to our modern farming methods, making it essential that we are supplementing them. Wow,
Awesome.
Great. Thank you for sharing that.
That is really good words. All right, number 2 winner, Cindy Jones.
Nice.
All right, here's what Cindy says. I have been using gold every morning for me and my son. I find it keeps us detoxed. When I have stopped taking for a few days, the quick scan tells me that my body needs it. I feel great when I'm taking it. So now it's just part of our everyday routine. Thank you so much, Cindy.
Awesome.
Great comments.
Hey, last one.
All right.
Last one for gold.
Drum roll.
I think I got one.
Going for gold.
Okay.
That makes sense with the Olympics.
Yeah, perfect timing. We know what we're doing here.
Heck yeah.
Okay, Jessica Cole. All right, we are new to using gold and we love it. My husband and I put it in our protein shakes each morning to help support our bodies. It's hard to say exactly what has what it has helped us with as we started the Prime, Krill, Blue, Pulse, and Think all around the same time. All we know is that we don't feel the afternoon drag anymore, which is amazing. I was recently sick with bronchitis and the doctors said it could take up to a month to stop coughing. However, I am almost cough-free after just 2 weeks. Awesome, Jessica. Great.
Thank you.
Gold coming to all 3 of you. Okay, so now let's recognize some of our hard workers throughout this past week. And this is gonna be the week from July 29th through
August 4th.
August 4th, yes. There's 2 months there. And we only have 1 second place, and that's Paige Wheeler. Great work,
Paige Wheeler,
Awesome
nice
job.
job.
And then we have 2
Tie.
for first place, a tie.
Tie
Oh,
for first
so cool.
place. So we have Deborah Carlson,
And Dory Capretti.
Dory Capretti.
job, you
Congratulations,
two.
you guys. Thank you so much
Yes.
for all your work and efforts.
And we have 2 Solex coins
Yes.
coming to you. Just 1 each, not 2 for both.
Awesome.
And I think we're running out. We're running
We are
really low on
nearly-
those silver coins.
We only have a few left.
But great job, and let's move on to the rest of the call.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
We are here with a warning for you. And let me just introduce, this is Jen Hawk. She's joining me. Some of you have seen her before. Some of you are brand new. She is a wealth of information and wisdom when it comes to not just health, but alternative health, meeting Eastern and Western medicine and all the parts in between. And so I'm so fortunate to have her with me today. The warning that we're going to give you, that we want to bring to your attention, is that Jen, it's really possible to get into some dangerous positions when it comes to supplementation, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's so many different variables out there, and there's so many different areas of the body that may need supplementation and may not.
Yeah, and when you think about that, when we start with supplementation, you know, it's a great field, and the intent of that field is really to help us, I think. And it's a big field.
Absolutely. Supplementation is not designed to be on forever, and it's not supposed to be a crutch. It's really supposed to support the body when the body needs the most support for the time being.
Yeah, for whatever it is that you're in need of, right? So when we think about the very concept of supplementation, it's supposed to supplement, right? A need that you're not getting somewhere else. In recent years, we have seen such a rise in the popularity of one particular supplement that we want to at least address, warn around, and maybe get some better information out around. And that's the sunshine vitamin.
Yep, vitamin D.
Vitamin D, yes. Vitamin D, it has actually, there's a great need for vitamin D, right?
Yes, absolutely. But vitamin D needs some cofactors along with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about whether we get vitamin D from the sunshine or whether we get vitamin D from our food.
Our diet.
But supplementation is extremely important, but knowing a lot of variables around supplementation, I think, is even more important.
Yes, and I think that getting into those, that we just don't isolate. We've heard so much, everybody's heard a lot about vitamin D, most likely all of you have taken some sort of supplement at some point with vitamin D3 in it. That alone is not enough. But even the problem the precipice of the problem is around at least a couple generally accepted needs, and that's the deficiency of vitamin D in society, right? There's one study I read that had said 1 billion people worldwide are deficient. And then another one along the same lines said that half of the people, so between me and you, one of us is deficient.
That's correct. And there's also so many other factors involved, like where you live, the pigmentation of skin.
Yes.
There are also different variables of diseases, if you will, that decrease the vitamin D absorption in the body for different variables of things like bone health, teeth formation, health.
Depending on what you're going through, right? On any given moment, you could be dealing or battling some sort of illness or mental state, even depression and things like that. And that inflammation reaction within the body is actually going to lower the vitamin D in your bloodstream. And so, and we'll kind of circle back around inflammation a few times as we warn against this. But one of the problems that we're actually seeing now in recent months, even in the last year, is more and more work around, all right, we got everybody's attention. Vitamin D3 is needed. We need to supplement with vitamin D3, but you can actually oversupplement. You can actually get into some dangerous situations.
Yeah, and I think that has actually happened over the last couple of years because vitamin D has been very great. We know vitamin D does help support the immune system. And so, over the last 5 years, we've really wanted to support our immune system as much as possible. Mm-hmm. But we went from this regulated dosage around 800 IUs up to, let's just say, 4,000 IUs, which used to be the regulated standard, and it actually still is. Yeah. So people who are experimenting on their own, and they're increasing that from the dosages that we have known to be true to help support the body in the areas that are supported, but now they're going one-fold, two-fold, sometimes even four-fold more than that.
Right, and that's actually where we get into a little bit of danger, right? And we're starting to get some warning signs from experts that study vitamin D that say that, hey, you can go a little bit farther than you need, and not just to the point of getting nauseous or having some sort of intestinal reaction that is uncomfortable. But, I'm hearing of people reaching 50,000 IUs and just huge numbers. And there are arguments for it. And typically in our society, the common thing is if you find something that you need that is good for you, we take that hook, line, and sinker and we say, okay, well, just max it out. Take as much as you can take, right? Because surely it's just going to do more and more good for us.
Right, but it's about the prolonged period of time that this is happening as well.
Yeah.
So some of the effects of that, when you have prolonged period of time with excess amount of supplementation that the body doesn't necessarily need or know what to do with, because there's different forms. There's bioavailable forms of vitamin D, and there's active forms of vitamin D. So if you get too much excess or get excess of an inactive form of vitamin D, there's great possibility that you're going to start decreasing bone density. You're going to start increasing more inflammation, potentially causing some autoimmune irregularities. You're disrupting liver and kidney production, and even mitochondria health, which is the powerhouse of the cells.
Right. And in talking about some of those tail-on effects or those impacts on the body when we get too much, I mean, we start to realize that not only in society, not only are we all taking a lot more vitamin D3, but like you said, there are different forms, and D3 of the vitamin Ds, D3 is the best one to take.
Absolutely.
Right. There's D2 and D3 that are common in supplementation. D3 is the one that is the most efficient at increasing efficiently and quickly the saturation in the blood and the prolonged effect of it. Those are great things.
Those are great things, but they also need some cofactors.
Right. Well, and that's where if D3 is key to absorb or to absorbing and using calcium and phosphorus, we just think that that's enough. And that is, it makes sense that would be enough. Okay, well, it's helping me. It's helping with my bone density. It's helping with my immune system, with inflammation, with my cognitive abilities, my heart health. But the key thing that we're often missing, and you do see a lot of good supplements pairing this, that you need the K2 with it, right?
That's correct.
In order to direct the symphony of distribution.
Right, but because we know vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, right? So we need to have fat involved in the process to get
Yeah.
it to where it needs to go. But that MK7
Yeah.
is very important to be able to help create the bioavailability of it and also make sure that it's not leaching calcium from the bones.
Yeah.
It's actually supporting the process, not increasing calcification in the blood, which is called hypercalcemia.
Yeah, calcemia, yeah.
And so when that happens, that MK7 says, hey, we've got enough bone
Here.
production here.
Let's go here.
Exactly.
Right?
It's helping facilitate it in the different areas of the body that it needs to be. So maybe that's cognitive function.
Yeah.
Maybe that's bone health. Maybe that's anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of different areas that vitamin D does help.
Well, and is absolutely needed, right? Is absolutely needed within the body. So when you think about that, when you think about the K2, MK7 being a key long version of the K2 that helps that direction. MK4 is another version, but usually you don't find that in a lot of versions of K2. It's really expensive.
Yeah.
So people don't include it.
And honestly, when I have done my research with vitamin D, I don't hardly ever see MK4.
Yeah.
It's not used very often. When it is used, it's powerful.
Yeah. The way I like to look at it, the MK4 and the MK7, as far as your K2s go, in helping the direction of calcium and phosphorus in the body, is MK4 is that initial, it's the plow. It's the one that the quick actor gets into the bloodstream. It's the fastest use. And it actually, its bioavailability is short.
Right. But where we notice it the most is cognitive function.
Yes. Good. Great point. I mean, there are a lot of things on that front. I mean, not only we've had others on Solex calls that love D3K2. And in fact, what was it? Melinda Liu, she was on a while back and she talked about how, seasonally she would go to Hawaii to her family because she dealt with some of the stresses in life during the winter and depression and things like that. But actually getting on a good D3K2, I won't say whose it was, but a good D3K2, she actually was able to not have to deal with some of those mental struggles that she has in the past. And it was purely the benefits of balancing the right amount of D3 with the right direction from the right K2s.
And I also believe that another very key point of that is the delivery system.
Yeah.
So the liposomal delivery system of any form of vitamin D3, MK7, MK4 can get into the bloodstream much faster.
Yeah.
When anybody has digestive dysfunction, liver dysfunction, kidney dysfunction, it's going to slow down that absorption of the vitamin D, so it becomes biounavailable.
Mm-hmm.
Or it creates more stressors in the body, which can affect seasonal depressive disorders.
Yeah.
It can also affect inflammation in the body, sleep, hormone regulation, mineral regulation. There's so many other factors involved.
It's interesting because you're talking about the different factors and we talk about, hey, well, the warning is, hey, let's not go too far into the D3 camp, right? Let's make sure that we have a balanced approach. Obviously, we need our K2s when we're taking a D3 in, but there are so many factors. In fact, I would I know that we have a lot of great practitioners out there that do a lot of great work, and they have the best interests of the client and the patient involved in. But really, when we get really good at taking any of our supplements, it is this dance we do daily, looking at our circumstances to try and figure out what it is that we might need more of or less of today. And when we look at D3K2, like you said, when you have an overabundance of calcium absorption in the body, then that's going to lead to deposits in the arteries and the soft tissues, even maybe kidney stones. That is not good. But at the same time, that inflammatory tail-on effect has its other pendulum swing, right?
That's right.
When you are dealing with some other stressor, right? Psychological stressor, any illness, right? I'm dealing with an immune system attack. Inflammation rises. What decreases in the bloodstream? Vitamin D3. It goes down. So what do you need more of? You need more vitamin D3 when you're dealing with that because it's actually using it up, trying to battle what your body is going through. So it's not like 1,000 IUs is 4,000 IUs is 50,000 IUs. It's not like there's just one thing and that's what you do every day no matter what. Although we do live in a very regimented, like, give me the protocol, I will do it religiously. And I love that because I'm that way. But I think we all need to get better at learning, what am I dealing with today? How am I dealing with it? I mean, we have the fortune at Solex of having the scanner, right? And let's talk about the psychological challenges that we face any given day. You know, we have inner voice, we have mind sync, we have things that we can do to try and balance things. And the balancing impact of those emotions also affects the inflammation reaction to those, which then is less of a drawdown on D3, right?
Oh,
If it's in our system.
Absolutely. I mean, there's, to your point, there's so many factors involved. And when you go back to the practitioner trying to create protocols for you, sometimes the practitioner doesn't always know the other influential factors that are at play, right? And is it summertime?
Yeah.
Are you eating correct foods? Are you getting out and getting some sunshine during the day? Are you sitting at a desk all day? I mean, there's so many other things that aren't really being spoken about. And so being able to adjust your dosage as you need is so key.
I love that. I love that because, you know, my experience, even the very best practitioners with the best intent, that some will start to dive into how I'm feeling about this or how I'm feeling about that. Right? Those are the very best, in my opinion, because they're trying to get the whole scope of what's going on and not just attacking the lab results.
You know, and
right?
like we had mentioned just a bit ago, that there were practitioners out there during the last 5 years of immunity things happening in the world, where they said, we don't care how much vitamin D you get as much as you need, much as you can. But the truth is now people are seeing the side effects of having had too much of that.
Yeah.
So it's really, really important to do what you just mentioned.
D3 is so good at being the absorber, the reason for calcium and phosphorus to come in. And I hope to drive this home. I know I've said it once or twice already, but when we talk about K2 and what you have set up so perfectly is the idea that it needs to be paired with something. K2 is the director. If there is no director, it doesn't have a place to go. It doesn't know where to go. D3 is great at the absorption, at creating the demand, the need, but past that, we stop without K2. We should always mirror. I think hopefully we've driven in that point that those should always go together. Like, in fact, a conclusory statement in one research study said it is actually has a less than positive impact to take D3 without K2. Translation, less than positive, to me, equals negative impact if you take it without.
There is one thing, if you're on a blood thinner, you need to be careful of that though.
Right.
So, but that's just one area of just watching, making sure that you are, if you're on a blood thinner, that you're being monitored.
Yeah.
But there's also like things like spinach, right? Spinach can change the blood flow.
Yep.
And so it's not necessarily that the vitamin D is bad if you're on blood thinners, just to be cautious about it.
I think back to the point of, I mean, everybody, if you're in that situation, you should always consult a physician, right? You should always like, hey, is it okay if I do this at this amount? Does that work? But then at this amount becomes the key. And I hope as kind of a final point to make, it's in the warning that in our effort to bring D3 and K2 to the table and the need for it in society, we can overdo it, and the overdoing it can have an impact. So then what should I do? Well, the upper limits and the recent upper limits reported, and they're similar to what has been out there, reported in JAMA. And I was reading a report out by Dr. Joanne Manson she's a professor of women's health at Harvard Medical School. They suggest that 4,000 IU is that upper limit, which is about 100 micrograms. And so I think that's important to see and to understand. Okay, let's take that as our kind of bearing, but then pay attention to the day that I'm going through and am I going through an illness? Should I up it a little bit? Should I lower a little bit? Because I'm just regularly going through my day and I'm outside in the sun. I'm doing a lot of things that already give me all of what I need.
Absolutely. And some of those, quick symptoms of being vitamin D deficiency is going to be aches and pains, fatigue, the depression, anxiety.
Yeah.
Those are just to name a couple of them.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing is, if you want a full spread, there is so much great research on how vitamin D3 with K2 helps with cognitive health, how it helps with preventing or surviving cancer, how it helps with heart health. Research all on its own, looking at that supplement by itself. And I find that to be powerful and impactful. But the key I think that we're making as in this sunshine vitamin, right? Vitamin D3 is, let's not put a cloud over that sunshine. Let's not do something that's going to impact really the benefits that we can get. So hopefully this warning comes by way of help and courtesy, something that we want to make sure we get out to you as you try to balance the day-to-day and pay attention to your body when it comes to the benefits of D3 and K2 and marrying those together. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
Well, you and Jen did a great job.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks. We did our best, and that's all you're ever going to get from us is our best. But so we talked about D3, K2. We talked about Solex's D3, K2. Not a lot, but just the key benefits. Some of the warnings, some of the careful things around taking too much D3 and how important it is to take D3 with the delivery. We just talked about all that stuff. We want to know for the contest this week. Let's give away D3, K2.
Of course.
But let us know what if you've switch from some other D3 to Solex's D3K2, or if Solex's D3K2 is intriguing to you, let us know why. Put your comments after the live chat, put them in on this call. Let us know why you're interested, why it's intriguing, what are some of the combinations or what you've learned that might make it, a more valuable solution for you. Since there are so many D3K2 products in the market, or at least D3s in the market, why does this one intrigue you? Or why are you converted over to this one? I love that.
That's right, because it's not like D3K2 is a new concept, right? I'm sure many people are taking D3 already. What would make you, or what did make you stop taking what you are currently taking and switch to Solex? We just want to hear the answer to that. And then next week, we will draw 3 of you and we will give away D3K2 to you. Have a good week. Hello, welcome Solex Nation. I don't know how to go into it.
This is for the week of, I don't know the week. What's the week?
Okay, I'm here with Jen Hawks, and I have a warning.
Nope.
Okay.